The apocalypse had arrived. The entire city is filled with viruses and zombies. The male lead, as a survivor, had all his resources seized by 3 students he had sheltered, enduring daily physical abuse from them. He had endured all of this. But when they threatened to do unspeakable things with a picture of his goddess, he couldn't bear it any longer. Having faced constant harassment as a dorm supervisor and falsely accused of misconduct by a female colleague, the goddess was the only one who occasionally showed him care, bringing color to his otherwise bleak life. Failing to snatch the photo, he endured another brutal beating. They even tossed him outside to feed the zombies. One nearby lunged at him. In that moment of terror, as the zombie approached, he spotted a broom by the wall. He swung wildly at the zombie's head, and suddenly, a system descended upon him. Just as he was bewildered, another zombie appeared, prompting him to bolt. Passing by the fallen zombies, various orbs of light emerged from their bodies, rushing toward him. The more he ran, the stronger he felt. Turns out, these deceased zombies dropped power-up points upon demise. Seeing more zombies gathering, he decided to hide. He dashed into a convenience store, barricading the door with a cabinet. Yet, there was still one behind him, a half-bodied old lady. Survival was paramount, so he grabbed a nearby stool and struck. Surprisingly, the old lady not only had attributes but also a red packet. Suddenly, someone hammered at the door. The male lead forced himself to stay calm, scavenging for supplies. Lacking a proper weapon, he settled for a pickaxe. With the zombies breaking in, he knew he had to fend them off before it was too late. He grabbed the pickaxe and swung it down, but its bluntness limited the damage. Unable to make an impact in one strike, he kept at it with multiple swings. He realized even if he didn't kill the zombies outright, they dropped attributes. So he kept striking repeatedly, and finally, after the 250th strike, he drained them dry. He discovered that while continuous strikes granted attributes, the total obtained was similar to a single decisive blow. Upon defeating them, a treasure chest and a red packet materialized. Opting to open them instantly, a flash of gold bestowed upon him a set of martial arts skills and a 7-star cleaver. Fueled with newfound power, he thought, now I'm unstoppable. You 3 beasts better watch out. He raised the cleaver and headed their way. Approaching them, he unexpectedly found they were being chased by a horde of zombies. Thinking, if you bring it on yourselves, I won't have to lift a finger, he decided to check if the goddess was safe in the female dormitory. Entering the female dorm, a scantily dressed woman appeared at the window, shouting, "Young Hao, get away. Don't lure the zombies here." To his surprise, it was his superior, Fong Qingqing, who had accused him of sexual harassment. Despite his disdain, he asked about the safety of the goddess. Unexpectedly, she yelled, "That vixen is in the cafeteria. Go find her." It was clear she intended to attract the zombies. As he turned, he noticed the zombies charging toward them. But he was different now, wielding a large knife, and he swiftly slaughtered all the zombies. Witnessing this, Fong Qingqing was completely stunned. As more and more zombies approached, he leaped onto a nearby car. Slamming on the accelerator, he sped towards the cafeteria. The zombies lunged at the car along the way. After continuous collisions, the car gradually became unable to withstand the strains. To save the goddess who once brought him solace, the male lead chose to break through the zombie blockade. He decisively opted to jump from the car to escape, the subsequent vehicle crashing straight into a wall. He sprinted toward an adjacent office building, the zombies lured away by the explosion from the car. Seizing the opportunity, he entered the office building. Planning a moment's respite, he heard unsettling noises emanating from a nearby room. Cautiously, he opened the door, only to be petrified by the gruesome scene within. Someone, for their own survival, intentionally attracted zombies by hanging a living person. This display of human depravity shook him deeply. Lost in thought, he was suddenly shoved from behind. The next moment, nearly all the zombies were fixated on him. He had no choice but to face them head-on. After a fierce battle, all the zombies were defeated. However, he realized that despite defeating so many zombies, his attributes hadn't increased. As he began to doubt if the system had malfunctioned, all attribute orbs surged toward him, and in an instant, he felt as if his body were about to explode. The system issued a warning, host body overloaded. Then, with a sudden thud, the male lead collapsed unconscious. The girl was sold for a measly sum by her boyfriend to a scumbag, who turned out to be the prestigious school's principal. She pleaded for mercy, but the man with a smirk said, "Either attract zombies while hanging, or serve the 3 of us well." The girl was petrified and dared not speak. Suddenly, with a loud bang, the door burst open, revealing Young Hao, the male lead. The principal turned and said, "Who are you?" Young Hao, rather annoyed, replied, "You forget me so quickly?" The principal, with a face full of fear, exclaimed, "It's you. I definitely pushed you into that room filled with zombies. How did you escape? And you were a chubby guy just now." It turns out that after defeating those zombies, he completed an achievement task in the system, gaining the body transformation reward. Yang Hao pointed his knife at the principal and said coldly, "This knife just tore through zombies. I wonder if it's still sharp enough for you." The principal immediately ordered his 2 henchmen to grab weapons, but Yang Hao easily took them down. He then looked at the trembling principal and said, "Ready to test the blade now?" The principal, shaking, exclaimed, "From now on, follow me and I'll give you money." Yang Hao landed a punch on the principal's face. When the principal was hit, a man nearby ran to the girl and said, "I was forced to. They threatened me. Please, say something good for me, you bitch." Yang Hao grabbed the man and tossed him out the door. Calling you beasts would be an insult to beasts. Then, he grabbed the remaining person and threw him out as well. Just fuck off. Before long, the 3 of them were discovered by zombies. The commotion outside frightened the girl, making her tremble all over. Yang Hao asked, "Is there any water? I'm a bit thirsty." Yes. The girl hastily got up and ran towards the kitchen. Suddenly, a scream echoed from the kitchen. Could there be zombies in there? Yang Hao hurried into the kitchen, only to find something hitting the walls in the storage room. Upon reaching the storage room, he indeed found a zombie and swiftly dealt with it. When he returned, he couldn't find a trace of the girl. Without much thought, having experienced so much, he decided to take a shower. As he opened the bathroom door, hello? And the girl dashed out. Suddenly, she remembered her bra was still in the bathroom. Certainly an uncommon situation. The next day, Yang Hao had just woken up when the girl had prepared breakfast for him. He hugged the girl tightly, shouting his goddess's name, Kaijing. "It's so great you're okay." It took him a moment to realize it was actually the girl he'd saved the previous day. Embarrassed, he let go of her. The girl said, "You just mentioned Kaijing." Yang Hao urgently asked, "Do you know her?" Blushing, the girl replied, "I share an off-campus house with her. Before the virus outbreak, she said she had something urgent at home and hurried back." Yang Hao was shocked. She went back home? Then he punched the wall. "Fang Qingqing, what's your true intention? You lied that she was in the cafeteria." The punch terrified the girl, and Yang Hao quickly apologized. "Sorry for scaring you. I need to go out. Lock all doors and windows here. Don't open for anyone except me." The girl promptly agreed, and then he went out to find his goddess. Along the way, he vented his frustration on the zombies he encountered. When passing the female dormitory, a familiar voice called out, "Yang Hao, why aren't you dead? And why have you lost weight? Did the zombies drain you dry?" He looked up, confirming it was indeed Fang Qingqing. She shouted, "Get up here immediately. Clean up the zombies for me." This woman was attempting her old tricks to attract zombies again. Yang Hao, in a fit of anger, clears the corridor of zombies inside the building. Afterward, Fang Qingqing appears. She speaks ambiguously, saying, "Not bad. Take my bag and escort me out. I'll reward you handsomely." Yang Hao rushes forward and grabs Fang Qingqing by the neck, pushing her to the edge of the window. "Dare to deceive me? I'll send you off right now." Fang Qingqing shouts, "Please don't throw me down. I'll do anything you want." At this moment, Yang Hao releases his grip, saying, "Selfish woman, go to hell." Fang Qingqing, wrapping her legs around Yang Hao's waist, cries, I'm sorry. Give me one more chance." Her cries attract more and more zombies, some of which are even able to climb walls. Suddenly, there's a sound behind him, and the zombies catch up surprisingly quickly. At this moment, inattentive, Fang Qingqing is about to fall, prompting Yang Hao to soften and pull her up. He plans to deal with the zombies here first before going to the cafeteria to seek revenge on those 3. He retrieves weapons from his system backpack, wielding an axe in his left hand and a knife in his right, slashing through the zombies. As their numbers increase, Yang Hao decides to lure the zombies to the rooftop to deal with them all at once. Arriving at the rooftop, he starts looking for an escape route. Unexpectedly, Fang Qingqing rushes up, grabbing Yang Hao, saying, "Don't leave me." Because he couldn't fight while carrying her, the male lead decided to leap off from the 17th floor, immediately thrusting the weapon into the wall to slow down their fall. However, due to the weight of both, the descent speed didn't decrease. With Fang Qingqing screaming and attracting zombies below, Yang Hao decides to use the zombies as a cushion. He lands safely by stepping on a zombie's head. After dealing with this batch of zombies, he discovers a new achievement in the system and gains a new skill called telekinesis. Yang Hao turned to look at Fang Qingqing, sitting on the ground, and with a finger movement, her clothes flew up. It turned out he could only control lighter objects for now. He then headed toward the cafeteria, but Fang Qingqing grabbed him again, shouting, "Don't think about shaking me off. Wherever you go, I'll go." He shook off Fang Qingqing. "I already did you a massive favor by not killing you. I suggest you stay away from me." Inside the cafeteria, a few girls were quietly crying after being mistreated by the playboy. "Keep crying, and I'll throw you out to feed the zombies." At that moment, another long-haired man walked over and said there were a few beauties next door, and they were going to enjoy together. The playboy was shocked. "Damn it. This is the second floor, and this guy just leapt straight up." The long-haired man saw Yang Hao was strong and wanted Yang Hao to take them away. Afterward, he would give all the beautiful women to him. Weak. The playboy immediately called two henchmen. "You, a small dorm supervisor, don't get cocky. My dad is the school chancellor. You guys are indeed a bunch of garbage," Yang Hao said coldly. At that moment, Yang Hao walked straight toward the hall. The long-haired guy handed a piece of cloth to the playboy to cover his wound, mentioning that Yang Hao had encountered those who had killed dozens of zombies in the hall. The playboy stood up and headed toward the hall, curious to see if Yang Hao would be attacked by them. Yang Hao exclaimed, "Get out before I change my mind." But the crew cut guy among the three scumbags retorted, claiming that making them leave now would be murder. Others watching joined their side, sparking various discussions. Suddenly, the crew cut guy launched a surprise attack. It was then that Yang Hao realized that defeating these three scumbags would actually earn him attribute points, with his strength having already surpassed 200 points. A beautiful girl stepped forward, saying, "Maybe let's spare them for now. It's true they cleared the zombies downstairs, which made us safe. Have you thought this through? They're no different from zombies." At that moment, the system suddenly displayed, "Congratulations, host. Your strength has surpassed 200, granting 1 body reinforcement. However, there will be a significant side effect." Immediately, Yang Hao felt dizzy and fell forward. In an instant, the wall shattered upon impact, and both of them tumbled down together. Upon regaining consciousness, he found that the girl couldn't hold back the horde of zombies anymore. "Thank you, but let me handle this." "Be careful and stay focused." The girl expressed her gratitude. "Thank you, Yang Hao. Do you need a weapon? Here, take mine," he offered. At that moment, Yang Hao realized that fighting the zombies not only failed to grant attribute points, but also didn't alleviate the stabbing sensation in his body. Suddenly, the ground shook. A zombie leader emerged. "Yang Hao, be careful. Let me take over." "I'm not the kind of guy to hide behind a woman," he retorted. Despite the increasing discomfort in his body, the situation demanded his immediate attention. As he battled the zombies ahead, the three scoundrels plotted among themselves on how to kill him. Seizing an opportune moment, they lunged forward. The girl initially thought they were there to help until they aimed their knives at Yang Hao, leaving her startled. Caught between the zombies ahead and the villains behind, Yang Hao had no time to evade. Suddenly, the system transmitted a voice. Now beginning the final phase of body enhancement. System domain activated. In an unexpected turn, Yang Hao vanished on the spot.